Alrighty, let's get started. Just going to pull up the chat window in case anyone wants to message me by chat. Not a lot to cover this office hours this week. I don't have a high percentage, maybe 50% of people have completed both the course requirements and the academic integrity module. The result of that, if you don't complete it, is that you're not going to be able to see the quizzes. So now that we're past the due date, I have to authorize both of them. I have to review both of those submissions. So if you leave that till late on Friday, there's a real good chance that I'm not going to get around to it. I'm not making any promises. They were due on Friday. If you're late, I will mark them at my pace, which is generally same day, but no guarantees. So please do those if you haven't done them. If you have submitted them and you're still not seeing the quizzes, it means that you didn't get something done right generally. Look at the comments that I've left. The most common thing is the academic integrity module, people giving me screenshots that don't have their names on them. I'm not looking for a name to be photoshopped on a screenshot. I'm looking for the screenshot to include your identification so that I can see that's your name and that's your mark. So it does say that in the requirements. So I would do a little segue to the side and say, read what I'm asking you to do. It makes it a whole lot easier for both of us if I don't have to mark your stuff multiple times until you get it right. And it will in the term papers, in the midterms, and all the assessments that I'm doing of you. If you don't read the question and do what is asked in the question, you're not going to be happy with your marks. So my rule of thumb, whenever I'm handing something in, is before I hand it in, I take one last look at the requirements and make sure whatever it is that I'm handing in meets all the requirements that are there. So that's just sort of a general hint and just a cautionary tale there. So if you haven't done the course requirements, if you haven't done the academic integrity module, or if you have and you're still not seeing the quiz, take a look, review my comments, or just get them into me and I'll mark them as soon as I can so that you can go ahead and do the quizzes. I think the quizzes add up to maybe 15% in the course. It's not a ton, but it's often the difference between a good mark and a mediocre mark. I'm just going to verify that's 15%.
Yep, that's right.
Yep,
I have the syllabus over now.
Yep, thank you. So yeah, that's this week is pretty straightforward. We're into the first week of actual work, meaning we're into chapter 1, and we will have a chapter 1 quiz due by Friday at 11:59. This can be rinsed and repeated throughout the term, with the exception of occasional assignments an occasional assignment due on week 8. I expect to release the topics at some point during the next week for you. I just want to review them and make sure I'm happy with them and tweak them a little bit. And I will make an announcement and I will email that announcement out to everyone. So if you pay attention to either the announcements or your email, you'll see that the written assignment topics are there to choose from. And the instructions are very explicit as to how you do that. So what we have is groups set up, because we'll have about 12 different topics and you'll join a group. And all that group means is that you're doing the same subject as other people in the group. It's not a collaborative thing. It's not a group project by any stretch. It just allows me to, instead of having, I'm not sure what we've got, a couple hundred students submitting papers and them being all over the place in terms of different topics, because I like to give some choice. This way, the markers can divide into groups. So we're all marking, let's say 20 papers on the same subject. Allows us to mark consistently that way. So that's really all that I have to say immediately anyways. I see that there's a question here. Is there a time limit on the quizzes? No, there's no time limit whatsoever on the quizzes. So in fact, I think you can save them. Don't quote me on that. I think you can save them and resume them. But no, there's no time limit. You can leave them open and plug away. They're not even auto submitted at the due date, I don't believe. If they are submitted late, though, they come to me. They don't get auto graded. They come to me to approve. If they're more than a second or two late, I'm not going to approve. Not going to approve them for marks. So get them submitted on time is what I'm trying to say. Well, the first module will be posted in the next couple of days. So you should be able to see the first module now. Is that everyone's experience? Has anyone not seen the first module?
I can see it.
Okay. Yep. So the first module is, just to be clear what I'm talking about here, if you go into course content, chapter 1 should be available. It's marked as available on my screen anyways, and it just tells you, it gives you a list of things to do. Essentially, read chapter 1 of the text, watch the video lecture. That's optional, by the way. My video lectures are there to help you out. If you just want to read and you don't want to listen to me or see me lecture, that's fine. But definitely read the chapter in the text. And then there are usually a video or 2 or 3. In this case, I think it's 2 that are supplementary. They're just from YouTube, and they're just to try and give you some more perspective on the subject. If you don't want to watch those, that's also fine. But your chapter 1 quiz, which again is due Friday at 11:59, is going to be based on the readings in the textbook. So I don't say anything in the lectures that I test outside. I don't introduce new information in the lectures compared to the chapter. I may talk about something to try and give it context or go down a little sidebar or anything, but that's not going to be testable. It's just there to help you understand the material from the text. Do we have to buy the textbook? What you have to do is read the syllabus. So read the syllabus, and it's going to tell you that the textbook is mandatory. So I do these office hours to try and talk about things, but the expectation is that you've watched the first office hours at this point, that you have read through the syllabus and you understand what's in there. And if you have questions about it, I'm happy to deal with that. But it's right in the syllabus that the text is mandatory. It's 100% mandatory. I don't have any way of enforcing that, and I don't make a penny from it. But in the past, I can tell you students that don't have the textbook are the ones that do most poorly. They tend to do really poorly on the midterm and on the chapter quizzes. I've even had students come up to me, virtually come up to me and say, after about 7 weeks, I'm really doing poorly in these quizzes. What am I doing wrong? And my first question is, do you own the textbook? And the answer generally is no. And I have no idea why. This is not an expensive textbook. I don't think it's particularly expensive at all, but it is mandatory. And I'll repeat what it says in the syllabus. You are strongly encouraged to use the digital version. That is because you can search for things. You can search for keywords if you're having a problem in the quiz. Like, I'd have the textbook open. It's an open book quiz. It's an open book midterm. So I would have that open, and if there was a keyword that I was searching for, I would use that so that I could quickly find where that information is. So that's my comment on the textbook in general. All righty. So there's no one here that's having problems seeing the first chapter, right? Like, once you look at it, you're able to locate that in course content. Alrighty. Does anyone have any? For anyone who hasn't, I'm just reading from the chat to memorialize it in the video recording, just in case you're wondering what I'm doing. The chat doesn't appear in the video. For anyone who hasn't bought the book yet, the link provided led me to the American site. I make sure you're buying from the right company. So yeah, that's probably very true. like I said, I encourage the download. If you're going to buy the paper version of the text, that's fine. I would probably go on the Amazon site that's local to wherever you are. So if you're in Canada, go to amazon.ca, et cetera, et cetera. I've heard certain countries not be able to access that site that on the link. It's just a matter of finding out within whatever country who the distributor for the textbook is. So just do a search on the title and you should be able to find a way to get it locally if that's what you want to do. I remember from the course requirements quiz, it says when we choose a topic for the written assignment, you need to go to groups topics. Will groups topics be posted later on? Yes, it will. So I'm just pulling up my page here again. I've currently got it hidden in my menu on the left. There will be a title. It'll be right under general discussions, groups bracket topics. And that what will happen is when you click on that, once I've enabled it, it will allow you to choose. It'll give you the choice of groups to join. You're essentially joining one group, and that one group will be defined by topics. Each topic will have its own separate group. So I will set that up. There will be a maximum, as I think I've said before, of enrollment in any one group, but from past experience, probably only 70% of students get enrolled in topics. When I get to the last, say, 2 or 3 weeks of the course, about 70% of students have enrolled. Now, some topics go faster than others. So if you see something that you like, hop on it and join. I will not, and it says this in the syllabus, I'm sure, and definitely in the instructions for the term paper, I will not be moving anyone from one topic to another. If you make a mistake, you're stuck with it. The reason I cannot do that is I would spend the rest of my life getting email from students and shifting them from topic to topic. And then someone would want a topic that was full. And then we'd have to wait. We'd have to do a waiting list when someone moves out of that topic. No, I'm not playing that game. So please be careful. Take a look at the topics and choose the topic that you want. So don't click any buttons until you're ready to pull the trigger, so to speak. So like I said, the only thing that I have to do is just review my topics. There's probably 1 or 2 that I want to tweak or even remove and replace, and we'll go from there. There's certainly, I'm perfectly aware that there's term papers from previous students posted on the web that you can, match to the topic that you choose. My comment to that is everything goes through a filter, and I know exactly what the percentage match is. It's called Turnitin. So I do run the Turnitin against everything that's submitted, and it looks at not only everything that's been submitted to me, but everything it can find on the web. So that please do your own work. I mean, you're welcome to read other people's papers on the same subject. That's fine, but the bottom line is that you can't copy that. You can, if you found 5 papers on the same subject, you might find some good resources to research. That's fine. That's fair game. Those are published papers or sort of semi-published papers, but yeah, do your own work, please. I hate, the reason I require the academic integrity module is I hate doing the academic integrity investigations. They don't turn out well for the student and they waste a lot of my time. So yeah, let's not go down that road if we can avoid it. Are you going to give a lecture today or just general information on the course? So this is an asynchronous course. There are no lectures other than the ones that I've recorded that you digest at your own pace. This is purely an admin, general information, dealing with any concerns or questions. That's the purpose of office hours. This is no different than the lineup at the end of the lecture where students line up to talk to the prof and ask questions. When I lecture in person, I always spend the first 5 or 10 minutes talking about admin stuff, and then the last whatever, 15 or 20 minutes with students to talk about, whatever issues they may have. So this, because we're doing this virtually, I don't have that opportunity. So that's what this is replacing. You said the words Turnitin. Do you want us to submit our written assignments through Turnitin? No, I do not. Thank you very much. When you submit your assignment through the Dropbox type mechanism, it automatically puts it through Turnitin for me. It gives me a report for every single assignment that comes that way. So no, just through Blackboard, and Turnitin will do its thing in the background without you guys having to worry about it. I think I'm caught up with the questions. Does anyone want to ask a question like on video or audio? Feel free to jump in or punch it into chat, whichever you want to do. I see your lips moving, Ethan, but I don't hear you. I don't know if you're trying to talk to us or not.
I was talking to myself.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, thank you. I don't have anything else to say specifically. If you don't have questions, feel free to get on with your Saturday. Thanks for dropping by. I really do appreciate people coming. It gives us a sort of a common area to talk and deal with a lot of questions all at once. I will post the recording of this. If you want to stick around, if you have a question that you just want to ask to me specifically, you can wait till other people go. I'll hang around for another 5 or so minutes unless a bunch of questions come up. But please do get on with your Saturday, and thanks for coming out. Every week there's going to be a chapter quiz. So yes, the answer to that is yes. Please look at the syllabus. The syllabus is very specific. It shows you exactly what to expect. Thank you. Have a good day as well. Yeah, see you next week. Thank you.